When you, as a leader, think about growing your company, what's more important, customers or your employees? Fast growth companies, 93% of the time plus. At one point in time when I was actually writing it down, 40 people in a row said it's employees. They had many reasons for it, but it really comes back to the same thing. If you take care of your employees, they're likely to take care of your people. You've never gone to a restaurant or a retail establishment that you got a good experience and that person wasn't being taken care of in some way. You will only get a good experience, in my opinion, when that person feels supported, when they feel heard, when they feel valued, and they are getting the support behind that, and they will reflect that back with their customers because they care about the place they work. If you don't care about the employees, they begin to not care about the place they work and the customers. And so you may think it's a chicken and egg thing. It takes both for sure. But I believe that as leaders, we put more attention on people than we do on numbers and process and product. So people first wins.
Welcome to Grow Think Tank. This is the one and only place where you will get insight from the founders and the CEOs of the fastest growing privately held companies. I am the host. My name is Gene Hammett. I help leaders and their teams navigate the defining moments of their growth. Are you ready to grow?
Today we celebrate 1,200 episodes of the podcast. Now, I'm not going to make a big deal about this. We did a big thing when we did 1,000 episodes because it is a big deal. But 1,200 episodes is also a big deal, but just not as much, not as many zeros. I wanted to reflect back with you some of the things that I really just have picked up over the years with having so many conversations with amazing leaders and really just maybe help you move forward as a leader. Now, I say all this because I love to help companies grow. I love to help leaders be better leaders, have a little bit more intentionality and be more empathetic and truly connect with people and grow those people around them. Now, I don't want to get too far into this before I get to the heart of it, but I am honored that you listen to these episodes over and over. I don't know how many you've listened to. If this is your first one, thank you for coming. If you have been a loyal listener for years, then this will just be a little bit of a refresher of some of the things in this. I don't have notes in front of me. I'm really just trying to give you something from my heart. And that really just felt right for me today because I've been doing this for over 10 years. Over 800 episodes with founders and CEOs of fast growth companies. I've had Fortune 50 CEOs from corporate America. I've had best-selling authors. I've had famous people, presidential candidates. I've kind of run the gamut. Some of them are my friends. Some of them are solo episodes with me. All this to be said, it's in service of helping you grow your business, be a better leader, create the kind of culture that really excites you and inspires you and really others are attracted to. So some of the principles that have guided me through this podcast are, they're often unrecognized. When I say that, what they are, there's nothing new, but we check the box and move on to the next thing. And so the first one I want to talk about is the importance of people. When you think about driving your business to the next level, if you're focused on the numbers, you're focused on the process, you're focused on the systems, it'll only take you so far because eventually you will need people that are aligned with you, that are lock in step, that are innovating on your behalf. You don't have to pull them along. They're pushing you. They're pushing the process. They're pushing the system. They're pushing the KPIs, the goals. And so when you as a leader focus on people, I've just wrapped up a couple of episodes around being more empathetic as a leader, being more people-centric. And we've had hundreds over the podcast of how important people are. In fact, I love the stat. The impossible question I've asked many times before, and you've probably heard it if you're a loyal listener. If you're not, then this will be new to you. But I ask the impossible question, which goes like this. When you, as a leader, think about growing your company, what's more important, customers or your employees? Fast growth companies, 93% of the time plus. At one point in time when I was actually writing it down, 40 people in a row said it's employees. They had many reasons for it, but it really comes back to the same thing. If you take care of your employees, they're likely to take care of your people. You've never gone to a restaurant or a retail establishment that you got a good experience and that person wasn't being taken care of in some way. You will only get a good experience, in my opinion, when that person feels supported, when they feel heard, when they feel valued, and they are getting the support behind that, and they will reflect that back with their customers because they care about the place they work. If you don't care about the employees, they begin to not care about the place they work and the customers. And so you may think it's a chicken and egg thing. It takes both for sure. But I believe that as leaders, we put more attention on people than we do on numbers and process and product. So people first wins. When you think about your own leadership, are you leading your people powerfully? Are you leading them effectively? Are you giving them feedback? Are you holding them accountable? Not because you just want the work done, but because they said they would do it. And that as they do it, they grow. And all the challenges that they endure, do you embrace that? Or do you try to avoid those? Culture is just such an important piece to the success of your company. And it makes it more fun when people like being there, when they're friendly with each other, when they respect each other, when they feel understood. So people has got to be an important principle inside your businesses if you want long-term success. Short-term success, you can put in more hustle, you can put in more hours and grit and resilience, and you can squeeze the most out of people. But I think that is only short-term, and actually it will backfire because I've seen it happen, and I've come in to pick up the pieces for some of the companies through our coaching. The second thing I want to kind of highlight here is, you've got to have more than just the work that drives you forward. Let me unpack that a little bit. A lot of people will say that their values are important to them. But if I ask them to be honest with me, how are you using values across your organization? What would I see? They're either making something up, they're saying what they read about somewhere. They're not actually speaking from a place of experience and something that works. I can tell when someone lies, their eyes sparkle. Their eyes sparkle when they talk about the values and how central they are and how important they are. All this to be said that you want to make sure that you are creating the kind of company that is values aligned, and that you want to have the people that you're inviting them on that journey with you. I've had some many favorite guests behind this. One of my absolute favorites is Horst Schulze from he's a founder from Ritz-Carlton. He's written a great book called Excellence Wins. I recommend it to everyone. But I share all this with you today because I know how important values are. He said to me, and I'm not sure if this was on the podcast or in a lunch meeting that we had, because we've gotten together a few times and we've talked on Zoom calls. And he said, when you're onboarding a person, you always will cover the values. He goes, what we found is we will spend a full day sometimes talking about the values, giving different angles and scenarios, doing some workshopping, do some role playing on the values. And so they might spend 90 minutes on each value. So if you had 6, that's a full day. If you have 10 values, it's 2 days. But if you really lay a strong foundation on the values, and it's more important than the work, because the values, if someone's out of alignment with your values, all you are going to see is frustration and things that aren't right. I've worked with and I've connected with a lot of people who go, I don't get it. Why are people not living with integrity? And I'm like, well, talk to me about your business. And they let things, or they tolerate people that lie, and it just doesn't work. I know you wouldn't do that, but maybe that's in the extreme. I say all this to you because I know how important values are, and those systems that allow us to work together, communicate together, trust each other, respect each other, grow together, face challenges together. If we go a little bit deeper behind that, I really, one of the things that comes out so much is transparency. I've done some recent interviews around this. It was one of my top Inc. articles when I was writing for Inc. magazine. And I share this with you. Like, I really believe that we should be more transparent in our cultures, that transparency line, which is what we believe is right to share and what we believe is wrong to share. If it's closer to a remarkable, you will have a better culture. If you kind of play middle of the road and say, I'm going to play my financials to myself, but I'll share some other things, and you pick and choose, you will only be able to take your culture so far. But when you open that up and you actually not just give people the numbers, but you teach them how to interpret the numbers and how to look at the numbers. I actually love it when someone will lay out their business and say, look, we did $10 million in business. You may think that I'm getting rich over here, but 60% of that goes to employees. 20% of that goes to overhead. And so we're left with 20%, which has to cover, acquiring a new customer, innovations, and any unexpected things. And then whatever's left over is the profit that an owner gets to take home. And so when we don't tell people that the detail, because of course I just made that up, right? But when we don't tell people the detail, they make up the worst scenario around that. So radical transparency or remarkable transparency is such a powerful force inside of our people that I just wanted to share that with you. The third principle that I'm going to highlight today, looking back across all this, is someone recently asked me, what does it take to grow as a leader? And I think it comes down to one thing. It's a lot of things, but it all comes down to one thing: your ability to adapt and grow and evolve from where you are today. What got you here won't get you to the next level. Marshall Goldsmith wrote a great book, and the title is quoted over and over again. And sometimes in entrepreneurial circuits, the people that got you here aren't the people that get you there. But just looking at your own evolution as a leader, I would guarantee that if you look back 5 years or 10 years, you have grown. You're more mature. Maybe you're more patient. Maybe you're more driven. Maybe you're more calm. Maybe you're more assertive. Whatever it is for you, you have evolved. But I've noticed that the companies that really keep pace and make the Inc. list multiple times, they're growing faster as leaders than the company is growing as a company. They are investing in themselves. They are getting the coaching. They are going to workshops. They're masterminding. They're in peer groups. All of those things help you grow. But most people go, oh, I'm good. And that's for other people. Be willing to invest. I'm a Brazilian black belt, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to be specific. And I have recently won this big, massive belt in a competition. I've only competed once. So I'm undefeated, if you will. And I share this with you because even as a black belt, been doing this 18 years, I still go get instruction. I still learn. I still watch videos to improve my game, to be better at my strengths, to close the gap on my weaknesses. And I'm wondering if you demonstrate that same thing in your own entrepreneurship and leadership in any area that you need to grow, that you know that is really important for you and the company. Are you making those kind of investments? Be willing to evolve. Be willing to invest in yourself. That will make a huge difference. Doing this podcast for 10 plus years, over 1,200 episodes, is something I'm proud of. It is a part of my identity, I will tell you that. And I will also say that, we do this not because we make money from this. I don't get, sponsorships or anything like that. I do this to help you be a better leader. So maybe you are tuning in to listen to my voice and listen to these insights from other leaders. And hopefully you're taking it and doing something with it, because it's not enough to know. You have to actually do and apply. All that being said, I'm here to serve you moving forward. We plan on some new things this year. Hopefully you'll get some emails and invite you to some events that we're having. Some of those are going to be free. Some of them are going to have a cost to it. And all of them are meant to transform some aspect of your leadership, your scalability of your company, your own skill set, mindset, energy, all of the things that are necessary for you to continue to evolve. I will also say this this is more of a random thing. Don't forget the people around you. If you're focused on growth of your business, not just the employees, but your family, your friends, the other people in your life that mean something to you. Take the time to appreciate them. Take the time to be with them. Take the time to be present, but also take the time to be with yourself. Get your workout in, eat right, sleep well, get your blood work. I know this took a weird personal turn to it because I'm 54 years old. I feel like I'm 34. I probably look like I'm 44, other than a little gray in my beard. But I share with you some things that I just wanted to share. I don't really have this open forum to share all of these things all the time. And so I thought I would just get in here celebrating 1,200 episodes, sharing with you a little stream of thought around key concepts that are coming up over and over and over that are just such big levers to your own success, your health, and the relationships around you. I say all this with love and kindness, but you have to keep growing. You have to keep evolving as a leader. I've been a CEO coach for 15 years now. I've been helping businesses grow. If I can help you with anything, if I can help you with sales or strategy or marketing, with a people problem, with succession planning, with your own personal growth and defining your blind spots, I've done all these things. I've got frameworks. I've got ways to accelerate this. This is not a commercial. I'm just here to serve. I'll leave you with this one quick story. I had a client of mine the other day. I won't mention his name, but he was giving me some of the problems that were showing up in his world, at home, at work, and even with some peers around him. And he's like, Gene, you give me energy. You're the only person in life who's a giver. Everyone else is a taker. I share this with you because I would love to be that giver for you. I would love to be that voice of reason and challenge you and give you new perspectives and give you tools to accelerate whatever you're going through. That's my gift. That's the reason why I'm here. If you allow me to serve you, I would be honored. Send me an email, gene@genehammett.com. We'll have a good conversation. I promise not to sell you. I promise to serve you. It's absolutely free. If you mention this podcast, just go to gene@genehammett.com. All this being said, it's an honor to be in your world, to be in your ears, to really serve you. Hopefully, you're getting some value out of this. You keep coming back. Maybe you tell another person. Maybe you send me an email and we reach out and we connect. Whatever it is, I'm here for you. I'm cheering you on. And when you think of growth and you think of leadership, think of growth thinking. As always, live with courage. We'll see you next time.